Let's make a journal cover with our 12 by 12 inch square paper and a scrap of fabric. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. So today I was having a look and I've been having a massive clear out recently, or rather a rearrange, not a clear out because nothing has left. It's all still here. It's just moved into slightly different areas, and that's fatal because now I can't find anything. However, I did find other things, and I found scrapbooking paper card packs. So this is card and it's map, which is fine, and it's double-sided, so it's got that on the other side, and it's got a bend in it because it's just been slightly moved around, and so it's not great in my mind. So I'm going to do something with this piece of card. What I want to do is create a journal cover, sort of a wraparound one for a traveller's notebook style, and for that I want to cut it down. I've also found this scrap of fabric which is batik fabric, so we're going to have a look at that. Now I've cut the 12-inch square down and I've ended up with 8.5 inches across and 6.5 inches down. That's on the larger one, and this one is 20 centimetres, so let's call that 8 inches, just about, a little bit less than 8 inches, and this one is 5.5 inches. Okay, but what you want them to do is nestle in, look quite good, have a nice border all the way around, but maybe wider at the top than at the sides. That's where I'm coming from with all of that. Now I want to just make sure that this fabric scrap will cover this. That's perfect, so we'll keep that for something else. And I'm just laying down this sheet of scruffy paper so that I can do some gluing. I'm taking my stick glue. I'm using this as a backing piece anyway, and I'm just going to delve into the scrap tray to see what's going on in here, what I can pull from, and also I have got some bits of a digital kit here from Rach and Bella Crafts, and somewhere here is my autumn box of bits and bobs. Not that, that's fallen in. So we'll just pull from that. Now, if you watched me do, if you've watched me do a snippet roll, this is going to be very similar, and I'm just going to cover this all in a large snippet roll style. So what I'm going to do is just loosely put down scraps all over the place, and we won't think about it, we'll just put those down, covering it up with interesting snippets and bits and just stuff. And it doesn't matter if we have the bottom poking through this time because it is map, and that's nice, so that's okay. So the map is actually going to work in our favour, so we don't need to cover it quite so dramatically. But I just need to now think what I'm doing. So I'm doing autumn, I'm doing real rich autumn colours, bright autumn colours, so I just want to think about brown tones coming in. Let's have a look what we've got. Oh, we've got some yellow fabric. Okay, so I like all of the little fabric bits. That's some pink, yep, that's nice, that sort of thing. So just finding the right sort of thing, and then we'll go into material scraps as well. Yes, I've still got a bit of this, good. Okay, so bring in packagings and nice strips here, and get the whole lot covered. That's it. So you've seen this before. So this is sort of a master board, but it is going to be a journal cover in one big large snippet roll style. Okay, looking for interesting pieces, sticking them down, getting the colours put down there. Textures, colours, paying not a lot of attention to what it all is at this point. It's going to get covered. We just want little bits, snippet bits peeping through. Okay, and just bringing in colours that remind us of the forest, autumn, that sort of thing. Walk in the woods, all those sort of lovely things. And just sticking it down. Now I'm going to start being slightly mindful of where I put a few bits over here because this is going to be the front cover, so I might want to have some nice interesting bits there. Just overlapping as we go. And one thing to be mindful of if you are doing a cover and you're going to have it bend round, make sure that you put your snippets, you want a nice strip on where it's ultimately going to end up curving round. So there needs to be something quite wide, so then I might want to put that down and strengthen it up a bit, and then I shall probably decorate it over the top with that. Using my Yoo-Hoo stick glue, which seems to work quite nicely on very fine napkin paper. Building lots of layers up, building texture in, so not really worrying that I'm covering interesting bits up, because even if there's a little slight peep through of something, that's going to be of interest in the future. Anything like that I'm not going to use because it's ultimately just plain and boring, so therefore we're just going to bring in some of this blue tone. Bringing in some blue and I think some yellows over here. Okay, now I'm starting to have a look at the scrap bits that I've got, just little fabric trims, things like that, that I can start to put on here. And I'm going to bend that round just to see what the bend is looking like. Make sure that I'm not peeling up too much, and anywhere that is peeling up, putting that down again. Alright, with the 3-in-1 I'm going to start to just look for gaps which are plain, and that's where I'm now going to start putting down fabric. So cutting off some fabric scraps here from my silk scarf, and start putting those down in places. Quilter's cotton here. Get down the green. Stamped insect image here. Put that in there, and then what else have we got? I've got a little bit of fabric here. I really like this. This looks like a Liberty fabric, Liberty of London, so we'll have that in there. And more over here. And what I want for this journal is I want it to be vibrant and bright. That's it. And then we'll start coming back in with some other papers as well, I think. But it's just a mixture of fabric and paper. Really great fun. And I've got some pink here, which is some vellum with some pink on it. And maybe we'll have a bit of this pink echoed here as well. Put that in. I just want the texture is really what we want. Probably want a strip of something down the centre there, just which will be the spine. Just trim off what you can see overhanging. Sort of little button there. It's going to see what I prefer. Whoop. And then I'm just using up this is scrapbooking paper, so just using that up. And then this can nip in there as well. No point if there's a white bit on there, it just wants to be more of a colour so that you can see it. And we'll just put those around the place. And that's it so far, so it's looking like that. Okay, so we're here. I've got lots of little scraps here, and I'm doing a very similar thing to the snippet roll that I did the time before. I've got some little bits of trim like that, and I have this sort of red colour, orange coral, well, I don't know, it's beautiful, this just coral red colour, and I've just snipped it up into these round circle pieces, which was the same colour as that, but just those bits. And so that ladder section down the side there, I've snipped it away. I just think it looks more interesting snaking through the front cover like that, and then these get put and dotted about, and then they look quite nice. And so we're collaging with little scraps of fabric, and I found this, which I think might be my spine, but it's too big, so I'm going to cut that down. And I think what I'll do, because it's very, very sort of fragile, is I'm going to cut so we'll keep that for something else, and then this will be the bit that I keep, and we'll just decide which way round in a while. And then that matches in, so that will tie it all together. There's some paper fruit bits here that I might bring in. I've got this eco-dyed fabric that can just come in. So let's glue that down. I'm just using the 3-in-1 glue here because I'm going to sew all of this down and trap it all in so that it doesn't move. I've got some nice fabric here. This is just a bit of an offcut from something. I could pull that open like that and have two bits. That might just reduce the bulk a little bit, but it brings in these nice berry colours, so blackberries and blueberry colours, and then just the gold colour, which I always think it looks like the light hitting it. Just a real eclectic mix mash of stuff going down. Really, really fun and relaxing to do. Totally exactly what I want. It's playing with colour, it's playing with texture, it's paper, it's fabric, it's all of my favourite things. And so I've been having a bit of a tidy up of the craft room. We can't get excited about it because it hasn't gone particularly brilliantly. It's still just as much of a wreck as it was before. I have been to IKEA in an attempt to buy some storage solutions, which I sort of did. I got some ideas, But what I was really doing is going and having a look for a chair, because I must have one. I'm really, really desperate for this chair now, guys. And you've all been writing in saying, yes, get the chair. Well, I will, and I have, and I've chosen one. I have found one. So it was a bit like Goldilocks going to, even though I don't have blonde hair, it was a bit like, is it the middle one? Is it the small one? Is it the what? You sort of look at the thing and you think, oh, that'll look nice in the craft room. And then you have to weigh up, does it look nice? And is it functional? Does it feel comfortable? And in the end, I've just had to go for the most supportive, comfortable thing I can find, because that is what is needed. I just need to protect my back and to be sensible about it. But also, I just need it to be really comfy, because I want to sit here and I want to craft and I want to enjoy the experience. And so yes, I found the one. You just know, I just sat down and thought, no, that's awful. Oh no, oh, this is nice. And then 2 minutes later I thought, oh no. And I was just choosing, and eventually found one that I thought, yeah, that's it, that's the one. I instantly knew. I sat in it and went, oh, I found my happy place. I found my happy place. I could stay here for ages. Yes, this is the one. So, yep, that's the one I'm now saving up for. So we're going to go for that. And hopefully that will work out for next month. And then I shall be, I'll have my chair. And I shall be very pleased with that. So I think I'm going to bring in... Strawberries aren't really autumn, are they? How about a pineapple? So I'm bringing in all sorts here. I'm going to have a pineapple. This is a real cornucopia of different things, a real vibrant collection of colour, texture, papers and all sorts coming in now. I like this black tape measure ribbon that I found a long time ago. So I haven't known what to do with that, so that's been quite fun to bring that in. Little bit of eco dye there, that can just slot in. It's nice to craft with black, don't often do that, so that's been good. Let's bring in some of this colour here as well now. Here we have everything stuck down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew over the top and zigzag over, swirl round, snake round, trap everything in so it doesn't go flying off anywhere or peeling up. And yep, that's pretty much what's going to happen there. So if you'd like to see how I do that, you'll need to have a look at the snippet roll where I showed you exactly how I sewed that round. I'll leave the link below in the description box. Okay guys, here we go. So it has all been sewn down, looking like that. So it's just lots of passes up and down in a wavy line, basically quilting it, just quilting the little scraps of paper and trim, fabric and all the different textures there. So I've tried to capture everything down as best I can. You're going to get some peeling up bits, but mainly that's from the fabric, and actually that adds to the nice tactile sort of feel. Okay, so I found this green fabric, which is a tie-dyed fabric. It's mottled and it's got different green tones in it. And what I've done is I've ironed it on with the heat and bond, and I've put heat and bond on the back here as well for my inside fabric, which is going to be the orange colour. So you can see our original paper there. So this is just heat and bond ironed onto paper, and you have seen me do that before if you've been following along recently with this playlist, which is the autumn and fall crafts. I think there's been some various things that I've been using to do that, but what I want to show you now is this is going to be the front, and this is going to go on the top like that. And that's going to be sewn down around there, or glued on and sewn around to secure it. Okay, so back from the sewing machine, I've sewn all the way around, zigzag stitch right on the edge, and just to say that I did take off the backing before I sewed. So now I'm going to iron on my other fabric, and I'll be right back. And then I think what I'll do is I'll sew round to secure both of the edges in place, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. And then, you know, we're nearly there. It's amazing. Loving it. Okay, back from the ironing board, and here we have it. So it's all ironed on, it's not going anywhere. Just going to trim around, and then I'm going to sew round and capture in the edges, the raw edges. You see, got the gold there, but I have used this nice copper thread, which could be a rose gold or something. I just thought that gave it a little bit of decadent charm. Perfect for this time of year, or any time of year really. Depends what you like, isn't it? You just change the colours up to fit your mood and fit the theme and fit the season, whatever you want to journal with, whatever you feel your creative side wants to do. So we just manipulate that round a bit. There we go. I'm just going to sew round, and then that is the cover done. Okay, here we are back from the sewing machine, and it is all sewn down. The only thread that I could find over there was an electric blue colour, so I quite like that. That's okay. And now I'm just going to take my scissors and just cut away any threads that I feel aren't adding anything, and just neatening it up really, because I will want the papers to do the work to give that look. And it's already a little bit haphazard, so I think we want to just straighten it up a little bit, but that's totally personal preference, but I am really happy with that. You know, that was just using whatever thread I had to hand. I started off with a metallic one, but it wasn't going well because it's just really very thick actually in the end, so it was better to just go with the cotton thread. And there we go. Oh, so enjoyed that. Look at that. So there we are, front and back. That'll just fray there. I quite like that. We'll leave that to fray. And yep, so what I'm going to do tomorrow is going to put the eyelets, because this will be a little mini traveller's notebook, so I'm going to put the eyelets in there, and then we'll start decorating and put the papers in. And we'll just smooth that out, that won't matter. And can have a pocket if it wants a pocket, see how we feel. But for now I'm going to let it settle overnight, and I'm going to put Grandma's paperweight on it. And I'm so pleased because I had lost her paperweight. It had fallen down on the floor somewhere, and it managed to get itself under my drawer. I've got a little drawer here, and I was getting so wound up because I couldn't work out why the drawer wasn't closing. I thought I'd just got too much stuff shoved in there, but actually it was the paperweight that had worked itself around the back of it and wasn't shutting properly. So problem solved, floor cleaned, paperweight found, and all is right with the world. So there we go. I'm going to leave that to settle in. I'm really pleased with that. That was so much fun, and I just feel like I've got my my inspiration back, and this is going to be my cornucopia mini journal, because it's just everything is being thrown at it. Lots and lots of fun, vibrant colours, fruit textures, real harvest festival sort of stuff here, autumn feast, and well, strawberries, summer, you know, summer as well. It doesn't matter, does it? It's just a collection of celebration of the season, and that is what I wanted it to be, because we are looking at Halloween and things like that coming up in the UK tomorrow, and I just think, well, you know, we could do pumpkins and things like that, but I think I'll leave all of that to everybody else. But I want to celebrate what nature gives to us, and that is the fruits and all of the wonderful foods. If we only have a go at growing some, we will see the abundance. So that is where we're coming from here with all of that, and just using the scraps from the craft room to create something really, really cool, something I'm really pleased with. So yep, that's that, and I have got some interesting things to embellish it, because we've been making the corner pockets and all sorts, so that will all be going in to this one mini journal traveller's notebook for this season, and I shall be dipping into that over the current month, along with a lot of other projects and fun things along the way. So this is all about fall and autumn crafts, and this is a really fun little project to do if you like using fabric, but if not, you could just use your lace and dye your lace, but I just wanted to do some different colours there. So we're going to dip back into that one tomorrow and put some papers in and put the eyelets in and just bring this together as a more finished piece. But I've really enjoyed that, so thank you very much for watching, and the podcast will be coming out tomorrow if you'd like to check that out, and hopefully, it's because I got a bit carried away with this, I haven't been able to do my podcast. But there we go, I'm delighted that the paperweight has been found and all is right, so it's just going to settle under that weight, and then it will be ready to work with tomorrow. Okay guys, so thank you so much for watching and all of your support, and above everything else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.